The intent of this podcast is for entertainment only. Our stories are based on the opinions and thoughts of ourselves and the research we cite. We encourage you to conduct your own research and form opinions based on your findings.
Yeah.
I have 18 lizards, and I'm a stay-at-home teacher.
Yeah.
My budget is 1.5
He's a
million.
Crayola color specialist, and she's a butterfly catcher. Budget $750,000.
Welcome back to Conspiracy Happy Hour.
Oh, I'm just a guest. Don't look at me to start talking.
I thought we were interviewing my replacement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There must always be an Italian on the couch.
Just a lot, yeah.
So this is, in case you haven't realized at this point, second video that we're doing.
Yes.
And also, it's our second featured episode.
Woo!
Woo!
We've made it to... We've done more than... Oh, this is our 10th episode.
Makes sense.
It has.
Every 5 episodes.
I know.
Put my hands
comes
up
the
with
dog.
a
Here
camera
comes the
there.
dog.
The dog's like making its way through the stuff.
She's like, I don't know what to do. But yeah, we did it. This is our second guest episode, which is super exciting.
Yes.
Thank you.
Anthony,
You're
I'm
welcome.
honored that you're super
tell
excited
them
that I'm
who
here.
you are and how we know you.
My
Why?
name's Anthony. I get everyone drunk. I'm a
Yes.
bartender.
He's a great bartender.
The local watering hole.
Yeah.
I push my alcoholism off on everyone else.
So-
yeah.
And we got to return the favor today.
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
We
yes.
have our special
Let me pull it behind
conspiracy
the
happy hour.
Yeah.
We have our special conspiracy happy hour.
Which we
drinks.
all drank because it took an hour and a
Yeah.
half to get this
And
video
I,
set
my
up.
I
God.
don't have a name for it.
But like out of 1 to 10.
Oh,
give
it's
us
a very
a-
good drink.
Okay.
Very good drink. Sans the cherries.
Should we cheers?
Yes, cheers.
I can't reach.
Cheers. Well, pass
Ah,
it down.
Okay.
Pass it along. Mm. It
I
is
like
actually
it.
really good. I just made an sound that sounded
Yeah.
fake, but
Yeah,
it
that
was
was
actually...
that was a very fake.
It is
I
actually
added
really good.
extra alcohol to it because
That's why
that
it's
tends to be what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Unintentionally.
We'll
Well,
put,
and with the setup, I feel like it was necessary to have
Yeah.
extra alcohol.
and of
I
course
would not
we'll
still
pick.
be sitting
We'll
here.
post the recipe, and the recipe, Anthony, if you're not aware, also comes with an Allie style, which
Ah.
is
An extra shot.
not the correct
extra
measurement.
few
Yeah,
shots.
no, yeah.
Extra few shots.
It's like that clip of the semi-homemade with Sandra Lee when
Yeah.
she's like 2 shots
Oh,
vanilla
glug,
vodka
glug, glug,
and then
glug,
dumps
glug,
the
glug,
half a bottle in
Well,
there.
it's more like
Yeah, no.
1 ounce of Crown Royal, 1 shot.
So
Doesn't
I
realize
did-
Crown or a shot is
I
not
did
actually
add
one
extra
ounce.
Crown Royal intentionally though.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
but it's very good.
It's
Crown
necessary.
Royal. Get what we're going at
Yes.
here.
And we will have the recipe posted on our Patreon.
Yes. So, and speaking of our Patreon, we just did our first happy hour after hours. Did you just fucking knock everything over?
I knocked over my line in Google.
Is it open?
Oh,
So, anyways,
bye, Dan.
gonna get paper towels.
Bye,
We just did our
Dan.
first happy hour after hours. If you were not on there, you should sign up for our conspiracy happy hour after hour tier. We meant to go an hour. It went 3 hours long of just bullshitting, telling ass stabbing stories or just ass stories in general.
Ass stabbing. I feel
That's
like
all I can
once
look at right
someone
now.
says,
That's
"Don't look
all
at
I
my
can
butt,"
look at.
that's the only
I'll
place you want to
clean that
look.
up once we're done.
That's the only place you're gonna look, though.
Meanwhile, the dog will be over there lopping it up the whole time, like
He's
passed
gonna
out on
be. He's
the
already
floor.
drugged. Now he's gonna be like.
You're gonna get wasted.
He's
Fair.
mixing his Xanax with alcohol, just like a good suburban house dog.
Yeah, absolutely. Like every.
Suburban house. So, should we jump into our... Well, actually, before we start doing this, somebody better tell me that they've seen... What's it called? Only Murders in the Building.
Nope.
No.
I
That's
talked
the-
to you
that's-
about this one last time.
Is that the Steve
Yes.
Martin?
Mhm.
Yes, Martin
Yeah.
Short, Steve Martin, and
Yeah.
Selena Gomez.
No, I've heard it.
So, the finale of episode...
I'm talking into the
Suck
microphone.
the dick.
I feel like I talk loud enough, though.
So the season finale of episode 2 just came out, and it was so good. Season
Okay.
finale of season 2,
I feel
not episode 2. Season finale of season 2. I got that.
The season
Yeah.
finale of episode 2.
Season finale, episode 2 of season 3.
It's definitely on my list, but now Game of Thrones is back.
Yeah.
Lord
See,
of the
I'm not
Rings
a-
comes out on
Oh
tomorrow.
yeah, you're not talking
The
my
second,
language at
yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
Abbott Elementary comes back. I got too many
Ooh,
shows
I love
coming
that
back.
one. I can do that one.
I'm binging now. Not really binging. I'm watching Snowfall.
What's that?
I've heard of that.
It's on FX. Well, I'm watching it on Hulu, and it's like the crack cocaine epidemic of like the mid to late 80s in like Southern California. And it's like one of those shows where there's like multiple main characters, and then their story all kind of converges as to
Okay.
all they kind of have to. Yeah,
That's cool.
one of my friends told me to do that. So now, like, and now I
What is
always
that
feel
on?
like, I think the last season, well, the most recent season just ended, so everything's on Hulu right now.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's on TV. It's just-
Yeah, it's
okay,
an
okay,
FX
okay.
show. Yeah, and I always just feel like with television shows where people are like there's always like the next newest and greatest thing, and I can literally I can't keep up with a television show.
Well, then I think the one show on like Netflix that had come out, it's getting a season 3. But did you ever see Dead to Me?
I watched the first season of that. Yeah,
So
that was
good.
very, very good.
That ended though, right? Or is this the last
No,
season?
no. I think there's another season coming up.
Oh.
I think.
Yeah, no,
I watched the first season.
watched.
I didn't watch any of the rest.
Yeah,
though.
same. I watched the first season with.
okay.
But you forget about them.
yeah.
You forget, and then you just don't go back.
And especially with
That's
the
what
with the
happens.
Netflix shows, they come out, you watch an episode, you love it, you binge it, and then you wait like 18 months, and then you're like,
That's
nah,
al-
you know what? Like,
That's almost the downfall of binging stuff. Because
Yeah.
you-
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you finish it all in 2 days, and then you have like a year
A
before
year.
something else comes
Yep.
back
And I
out.
forget.
absolutely. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of the fun thing with like the Game of Thrones shows where it's like, oh, I only need to devote like 1 hour
1
a
hour.
week to this. And then you devote 1 hour a week, and then I watch like 30 to 40-minute YouTube videos where it's like a dissertation on each episode. But like that, where you're just watching the one episode each week.
The peanut gallery's excited again.
Yeah, I know. Thank you, Tim. Yeah, no, the Netflix style, like, it's good and bad. It's good for like older shows. Like, it's great if you like someone tells you to watch a show and you click on it and you're like,
Like, if you-
oh, 6
I just
seasons.
started watching
like,
Seinfeld from the very beginning. I've never seen it
Absolutely.
before, but that's a good
Exactly.
one
Yeah.
to watch.
Good
Like
example.
yeah, where you-
Golden Girls.
Yeah, like with like that sitcom style where you can like blow through a season and you're like, oh, cool. There's 11 more seasons that I can watch of this. But like if something brand new comes out and then it's like one season and then they're like, we'll return in 2024, and now
Yeah.
you're just like,
You're like,
"Nah, you know
That's
what?
why I
You
literally-
might, but I might not.
Yeah.
So
I
Yeah.
literally have a TV show tracker on my phone. Like it's an app.
What? And it'll
That's
tell
a
you when
thing?
everything new
It's
comes
called
out.
it's called TV Time, non-sponsored. And yeah, you literally say I'm watching this, and you can mark off the episodes you watch, and you'll get notifications saying Abbott Elementary is coming back in 2
Oh,
days or
wow.
Oh
something.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the only way I remember, because like you just said, we watch it in 2 days because you binge it. And
is it a preset app? Like, is it like something that when you get a phone it comes with, or do you have to download
You
it?
download it
Okay.
from the App Store.
Okay.
Available on Android and iOS.
Not sponsored.
But it is actually really good, and you can it tells you, the thing I like it the best is like someone tells you a show, you're like, oh, I really like Snowfall, whatever you just
Yeah.
said. I can go in the app and it tells you like what station it's on, where to watch it.
Oh, okay.
So that's what one of the main features I use it for, because
Yeah.
people tell me
Remind
show all
you.
the time, and I'm just like, I don't know where it is.
Yeah, I have no
I don't
idea.
have cable.
Yeah.
Where can I watch it? Oh,
Well,
Prime. Okay,
yeah, or the
cool.
worst is like when someone's like, "Oh, have you ever seen Names a Show?" And then you're like, "No, what's it on?" And they're like,
I don't
"Amazon,
remember.
Amazon, Hulu, or Netflix." One of those. You're like, "Well, that's pretty much
That's
where
three
that's pretty
options.
much where
Yeah.
everything is."
I know. Usually, when someone says that, I was like, "Is it a show that is on TV?" Because that's usually Hulu.
Yes.
Yeah, Hulu is like what's currently happening.
like-
Will I
DVR
see
a
the
day
characters appear in Disney World?
yeah,
Disney Plus.
no, yes.
Yes, is it owned by Disney in general?
I don't know why I like got that when speaking of Disney Plus, like when they got like all the old like Fox properties.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the only person who watches my Disney Plus, and for some reason I put a pin on my own, like a pin protector on my own Disney Plus thing. So every
You're
time,
the only one who uses it.
every time I go to log in, and I'm like,
Son of a bitch.
Are
And
you trying not to let your family know you're watching High School Musical, the series?
over and over.
Oh my
and
God.
over again. Yeah,
Is there season 2?
It just came out. Yeah,
Oh,
I didn't watch
that
it
one.
yet,
I watched
though.
the first one. Well, we'll have to
they're at
binge
summer
it.
camp.
That sounds pretty like sequential.
It sounds
with
like
the movies.
second movie.
Yeah.
Except for they're not on the
they're
golf
pretty
course.
much just doing that, where they're just
I'm
gonna.
okay with it. I love the High School Musicals.
Yeah, I see. My family, we didn't have Disney Channel.
We did
growing
not.
up.
I didn't either.
So
did not either.
But
I
it
was on the outs with all
conveniently,
that.
they came out. I only had Disney Channel when my family took
They were on like
our-
ABC or something, right?
Disney Channel.
Well, no. But like High School Musical ended up on like ABC Family or whatever it was, because I think it was like mixed with Disney, because they did the
Yeah.
Maybe
Sunday movie Disney nights or whatever like that.
But I think like maybe the second and third one might have got on ABC directly,
Okay.
because like I don't think they had any idea how big the first
No.
one was going to be.
No, it got
I
Yeah.
only watched them when they came out because I had the Disney Channel for like 2 weeks out of the year when my family took our trip to Wildwood, because like the house
that
Disney
house
was
yeah.
part of Comcast's package down there.
Yeah.
Where for some reason we had to pay extra for it up
Yeah,
here.
my family had the our condo in North Wildwood, and we would get Disney Channel, so that would just be like
Me and my cousins were like, all for one.
I would like
this
stand in
summer
front of the
has
computer
just
or in front of like the
begun.
computer or the television at my friend's house, and we would try to learn the "We're all in this together."
Oh yeah, me and my cousins, we were all dancing in the middle of that condo, and literally ours was in North Wildwood too.
yeah.
And yeah,
but I
watching
never
High School
saw
Musical.
Camp Rock.
No,
I don't
no.
think I
I've
saw that
only
one.
just seen that
I
really.
did, but later in life,
Yeah, I've only just seen that really awkward scene of them like
going through the forest. Camp
no,
Rock.
yeah, the Camp Rock where they're like
The meme.
stomping their way in. Camp Rock, like that whole thing where it's just
Yeah, and
turned
they're
into
like
like
just
a
going
meme.
by a group of people. I was like, this is a cold.
Yeah.
No idea what
yeah.
you're talking
Oh
about.
my
So
God.
this is great to
Yeah.
me.
You'll have to look it up. I'm sure
Yeah.
I've seen it on TikTok
Hand jive.
recently.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, that's probably the
You
first
see
time.
Demi Lovato, they're like literally stomping. They're like,
Yeah.
"Shh, Camp
They look
Rock."
like they're doing a like almost like a
a
like
step routine.
yeah, like
Yeah.
a fraternity, like you know, like how like the
and then
fraternities
they're about
have
to
like the step
sacrifice
routine.
you
Yeah,
to the gods
Yep.
of Camp Rock.
yep.
Love
No,
that.
I know I missed out on all the Disney stuff, and because my family would have the Disney Channel in at our condo, but we also only had Comedy Central in the back television in the back
Oh,
room,
I remember. Yeah,
which was our
remember Crank Yankers?
where my
and
yeah where my
Puppets?
yeah where my sister in our room in the condo, and my grandfather would kick us out at 10 o'clock every night to watch Reno 911. So like we would literally
all
get
I remember about
we
that
get-
was the short shorts.
yep
Wasn't Niecy Nash in that?
Yeah.
yeah
I thought I
New
remember
Boots
her
Goofing.
like.
yeah we
Who?
would get booted
New
out of
Boots
our
Goofing.
our room for like a half an hour, and we would just hear our grandfather just hysterically laughing and like
The fact
The
that your
back room.
grandfather watched that, like,
Oh my
is
God, yeah.
great.
That
Yeah.
was like, that's just funny. That's I have a fond memory with my grandmother down the shore too. But it was like, we always just watched like procedurals. So we're just like, my grandmother slipping me a glass of, I'm like underage, a glass of Arbor Mist. And she's like, just have a little glass.
just
And
have
I'm
a
like,
sip.
and we're watching like The Closer.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I was like, that's where my love of true crime came from. It
Yeah,
actually came from
Absolutely.
my grandmother, and she would watch me, and we'd watch Murder, She Wrote.
Wow.
That
they
grandmother.
did. I saw a study on the most dangerous town in like all of media history,
Camden.
and
No,
no, and it's the town. Drawing a blank on the name, but it's the town
from Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah, the town from Murder She
In
Wrote, because there's
England?
like each episode, like
England.
one person gets murdered, and then there's like a general.
It's just like Murder, She Wrote is like, you could compare it to what's the hospital show, Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
I would never go to that hospital.
No, it's
I
a
would
horrible
never
hospital.
step foot in the vicinity
Too
of that
much
hospital.
drama.
Yeah.
Not
Is
drama.
that a real? Is it a real hospital though?
No.
No,
Okay.
well, like your loved one could die, and then the next room over, like two doctors are like
And
banging
then-
it out,
and then
in,
a
like,
Oh my
the
God.
janitor's
And then a
closet.
tsunami takes the hospital out.
Yeah, yeah, like all the doctors die in like these grotesque ways. Like no one just goes of like
No,
natural
there's a
causes,
helicopter
like a
crashing
helicopter.
over
Yeah,
there. Someone gets run over
Jesus
by a tractor
Christ.
trailer.
Mhm.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I would never. It's
yeah, and
cursed.
like Murder She Wrote was like this small little quaint town, but like each episode, like
Another death.
one person was getting murdered, and it was like
Maybe I should
they
check
took
that
the,
show out.
Yeah, they
That's
took
like
the-
my
yeah. You should
You should
style
watch Murder, She
show.
Wrote.
Yeah.
Jessica Fletcher is a
Yeah.
American icon.
Yeah, it's some like ridiculous amount of the population got.
I
like,
just remember,
murdered
like-
in that show.
And I don't know what it is, but I think of that show and I think of the Dear Abby column in the newspaper.
Well, she's a writer.
Maybe that's why.
yeah,
She's writing books. Like she's a She's just a writer, I think.
Yeah. My mom used to
And
make
for some
me read
reason,
Dear
she
Abby.
turns into a detective.
Yeah.
Because she has deductive reasoning because she's a writer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's a lateral move.
I like the
It's like the kids you went to high school with who played Call of Duty and thought
Yeah.
they could like go
And they
join
could
the
be a
military
cop.
or like something like that was like that's
Gets
the
you
best.
kinda happy.
I know. I honestly, I rewatched Murder, She Wrote recently the whole way through. And I'm like, God, the show is still so good.
Yeah.
What is
no,
it on
it's
now?
Great.
I don't remember.
That's the problem right there. They don't remember what
Yeah,
it's
check
on.
your app.
I'll look at my app.
Yeah. It's probably one of those things where
Let
if you
me boot up
Yeah.
TV Time, the app that's available on Android and iOS.
No, shush. We're not giving that much information away. We're not sponsored by them yet.
I bet
so.
if you Google, they gotta have like a box set on like
Sponsorship.
Blu-ray for Murder
Just
She
typed in
Wrote.
murder. Murder, She Wrote.
I've been watching just YouTube all the time.
Just YouTube clips.
Oh, and
or
there's 12 seasons. by the way.
Videos. There's like a
12 seasons.
there's like a podcaster who does like
It's on
like
Peacock.
they'll go to like the most.
I have that.
It's
Oh,
on
I got that too.
It's on
Yep.
Peacock or Roku channel, whatever that is.
I
or
got that
DirecTV.
too. Yeah, they do like that. They go explore like the haunted locations.
Oh
of
yeah.
the world.
Yeah.
That's my
Which
type
one?
of thing. I don't. Sam and Colby, I think their name is. But they do like
What's
they.
the TV called?
It's YouTube.
Oh,
YouTube.
the
Yeah.
TV. What's the TV called?
They just go
What
explore
TV
like
called?
haunted
What's that?
like
The
locations.
Tube.
Like the one that I just watched, they like explored Dracula's castle,
That's cool.
which is really cool. But anyways,
Should we get started?
should we actually get
We're
started
just
on
shooting
this?
the breeze. I was
Yeah.
totally cool with just doing that and then totally
Well, I
forgetting.
was gonna say let's go to the bar afterwards, but you're like, yeah, I can't.
I mean, I called out. And this will air later, so they have no idea.
You
what
told
day
him
this is.
yesterday.
I know.
I was just gonna say you
know.
couldn't, but you're like, yeah, I called out. And then everybody's gonna see this group like, fucked.
Well, whatever.
What's Jeff gonna do?
I
Fire
have
him?
tenure. I've been there 6+ years.
Have
Can't
you?
Get rid of me. Yeah.
Yeah, you've been there longer than I've been going there.
Yeah. Nope. That place needed me.
I believe
fixed
it.
That place.
I believe it.
I fixed that.
You brought
place.
everybody together.
I did. Me and Robert.
Robert?
Yes.
Bert.
Oh
Me-
my
me
God,
and
that's
Bert.
his real name?
Yeah, Bert.
I always just called him Bert. I didn't know his name's Robert.
I call him Bartholomew.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go call him Robert
Call him
tomorrow.
Bertie. Yeah, you know. His mom calls him Bobby, and it's like the cutest thing in the world. She's the greatest woman ever.
I heard her say that, and I
Yeah.
literally was like,
She gives me
The first time that I met her was the night that the sexy bingo came back.
Mhm.
She won the grand prize.
Yeah, nope. Yeah.
Bert comes over to our table
Can't
and
discuss
goes,
that with him.
yeah, my mom won like the $150 dildo.
Yeah.
I was like,
Can't
Okay.
cannot discuss that with him. He does not like it.
shut down.
Yeah, no. That's like he's an open book with everything, and then you're like, "Hey, Bert, I heard your mom won the sexy bingo prize," and he's like, "I don't want to talk about that." Man.
He does.
Nope.
So, should we talk about our Mandela effect?
yes.
Surely.
Fact. I can't ever say that one right.
Effect.
Effect.
Just don't ask me to spell it.
Eff-
Mandela, or effect.
Fact.
Oh, is it the E or the A?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's got to be my most Googled.
Effect, I think it's an E this time. Effect is like if it affects you somehow.
Yeah, one's
An
applied to
effect
something.
is what
Mhm.
happens. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no. It's my most Googled tab
English
of
is
all
hard.
time.
No, mine
English
is
makes
I
no
will
sense.
talk in.
It
I'll
doesn't.
talk into my phone. Like I'll say like a phrase that has the word in it, so it like comes up with the right spelling for it, and then I'm like
Yeah.
available.
You
That's
write
how you spell
Let me
it.
write
Yeah.
that down for later. That's I can never spell, and then we can get started. But
Yeah.
my word that I always stumble on is convenience.
hmm
Like I'll still type it email at your
See,
earliest
I'm
convenience. and
the
just
worst
like, I just
speller
type
ever.
it and like hope for the best.
Yep. I used to remember how to spell tongue because it was the same keys on like the T9
like
texting
TOU.
as tonight as like TO. So I literally just would type
different
that
sequence?
in. Yeah, and it was but it was because remember like with the old
You had
phones,
to click it like 3
Yeah.
times or 2
so
times.
you could do that, and it was I just
That's what I
remember
mean.
being
Just like
Can I
you
hear
could
it?
click twice this
Yeah.
time,
Can I say
once this
something
time.
controversial?
What's up?
I hated T9. I never used it. I used to
What did
click
you
rapidly
use?
all the time.
Oh, you would go all the way through?
I would.
Wow, you're a psycho.
You would go from A to Z if you
Well,
had to click a Z.
No, you go to
What do
the
you mean
letter
all
that
the
had
way
the Z
through?
on
yeah,
it. but
what was the one?
Yeah, but that's
one
what
of them had
T9
5
was,
letters on it.
wasn't
Wasn't
it?
the last one?
T9 was where it would like almost. It was like the early stages of predictive text.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about like the ABC. I think
I would-
it was.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would
So
just do that.
T9, yeah,
So
T9
I
if you
got
were going to
so- I
type
got I got really fast at it. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
not hard.
Yeah.
And then I got a sidekick, and that was cool.
Oh my god, it was like the whole
flip,
keyboard.
yeah.
It would go
That's another whole thing that we'll
I
have
still,
to.
to this day, I miss a physical keyboard. Not gonna lie.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Remember the Blackberries? They just had
I
like
never had one.
keys this big.
I never had
Yep.
one.
Nope. They had that like center
The
the
trackball.
ball.
Oh my God!
ball-
Yeah,
The
that was like your
yeah.
scrolling
The sidekicks had
button.
those
Did
too.
they?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Okay.
But anyways, our Mandela fact is the Monopoly Man. Does the Monopoly Man have a monocle?
No.
Dan,
I don't think he does.
he doesn't.
Nope.
Here's the thing that's really funny though.
Who has a monocle? Mr. Peanut,
Mr. Peanut has a monocle, yeah.
and that is not the Monopoly Man.
That's probably what everybody
Yeah.
thinks of. Like okay.
He looks like he should have a
They
monocle.
are like straight up.
He
the
just has a mustache,
same-
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably like seeing all my Googles.
Yeah.
Which is probably not safe. But they have the same like images. If we can do this, we fucked up last time, but the image will be right here.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, now we have more time, so I can figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last week we were just waving our hands in the air and nothing happened.
Nothing was happening. I have
You're
I
right,
have
some
an
of the editors.
I have an OG Monopoly board game that so when I bought my house from my grandparents.
Did you find it in the basement? Don't
in
play
the
it.
attic. No,
Oh.
no, no.
Displayed
I'm not
on the-
playing it.
I
No,
would
but
like
it's a
hang it and
Monopoly
display it on
board,
the
yeah.
wall.
How Jumanji starts.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're gonna end up in Atlantic City.
I'm gonna end up in like 1920s Atlantic City. Yeah.
Here's the thing: in Baltimore, I've like when I'll drive like to go to my doctor's appointments in Baltimore and stuff. There is a giant sign like on top of a building, and it is straight up this Monopoly Man's face
Mhm.
with a monocle.
Oh.
And that's why it confuses me every time because I was like, it is literally the same artwork, everything like that, and it's just.
Maybe they couldn't get
Does the Pringles guy have a monocle too?
Does
Oh.
he?
I feel like he does.
Oh.
I feel like all these people are like popping in my head after you said the
That's
Monopoly
probably
Man?
what it is.
I
then.
just always know that the Monopoly Man doesn't.
because he has
my
a
grandmother's
similar
yeah.
fate. Like, well, I think it's
Yeah.
just a round circle.
Yeah,
but-
the Pringles Man, yeah.
Yeah.
And then one would pop into his mouth. wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I totally just spelled prongles.
Prongles. Yeah. No, I'm very
Would you like a cherry?
no, thank you. I'm very up to date with my Monopoly. My grandfather's nickname was Boardwalk, and I used to think as a child it was because
He just not either.
Pringles Man doesn't have one.
No, he has 2 eyeballs, and
Oh.
That's good.
Well, I'd hope so.
Wait, your grandfather's name was Boardwalk?
His nickname was Boardwalk, and I used to think it was because like he would spend these entire summers down the shore, but it was when he played Monopoly, the game was not over until he held the boardwalk piece.
wait a minute.
Like he would not
got
let you
both.
quit.
Well, a lot of
Pringles.
I know a lot
Wait a
of
minute.
friendships are ruined over Monopoly.
Hold on, I'm not
our
even-
family almost disintegrated.
I'm
over
not even
Monopoly.
kidding you. I Googled Pringles Man,
Mhm.
straight Pringles Man, not conspiracy or anything. What comes up? But the Twitter post for Mandela Effect. Some people
Oh, I didn't
remember
even realize this was one.
Some people remember the Pringles guy having an eyeglass.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure about this one, but it does look like he's missing something. So, like,
Oh.
A,
Mm?
without,
Oh, that's the one I.
That's the
okay.
one I
Yeah.
remember.
B. I don't know if we
Okay.
can even see this far away.
See, I just feel like no. I
No,
just
that-
feel like
I don't think
yeah.
that
That
one's
looks
right.
wrong.
That,
Yeah.
looks,
That looks wrong.
It looks like he belongs without anything.
I just feel like every
Drink my half.
like drawing of an old white dude with a mustache. They're like, did he have a
He
monocle?
should have
like,
a monocle.
because it looks right. And the Monopoly Man, you would think almost because the way he's dressed, like top hat,
Yeah,
Mhm.
true.
like suit, not paying taxes on his buildings. That's something.
Charging rents.
Yeah,
Like a
yeah.
good.
That's something. I remember I recently
I'm
asked
a
somebody.
communist.
I recently asked somebody if they played Monopoly the right way, and they were
What's
like, "What
the
do you mean
right
the right
way?"
way?" And I was like, "So if Dan goes and he lands on, like a property and nobody owns it, if he doesn't buy that property, then it's open for sale to all the other.
But until that
players.
point, it's not.
Well, so like if
I
Dan."
didn't even know that was the rule.
Yeah, that's like the actual rule that if you land on
So if you
it
land
do-
on it, Dan gets first choice. But if he doesn't want
yeah,
it,
if he
then
doesn't want
anybody
it,
can
then
snatch
anybody can, and I believe
Bidding war?
it goes to a bidding war or something like that. So like it's one
I
of
had
those
no
things
idea.
where like
Me
people are like,
either.
oh my god, Monopoly takes so long because they're rolling and you might not land on a certain thing, but like Dan's landed on it like forever ago. So it's actually supposed to make the game move a little faster.
Yeah, I might actually like it if we played that way.
Yeah, and
I
it
don't
would
know, I
go
still
it
don't
would
think
go a
so.
lot faster.
I play Monopoly Junior and still can't get through it. I'm just like, dear God, don't laugh at me. Should we get started with your conspiracy?
We were your bartenders tonight, so you
Yeah,
have to give us
yeah.
a story.
Yeah,
Okay.
you have to give us a story, and then also by the time you're done, are you going to just make out with my dog?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
great.
By the time you are done, you have to name our drink. Because this is literally going to be the title of our drink.
I can't even think of it.
Her Royal Highness.
Yeah.
Her Royal Hiney.
Well, sometimes it does help. I mean, we only done this once before, but as our last guest was telling his tale to us, like the name kind of just like appears.
Well, like I'm trying to think of all like the different.
We'll go through it,
things.
and then if you say something funny, be like, "That's the name."
I guess.
And if not, we'll
Yeah.
force you to
Talking
name
to
it.
the microphone.
I'm talking into the
We'll
microphone.
do a couple
Don't look at
shots with you on
I'm
Friday.
not looking at Allison. Why? Oh, when I look at Allison, my head inherently moves farther away.
It does.
I'm just so distracted.
So my. So my conspiracy that I wanted to discuss, it's not like I'm real big on when a celebrity or like a famous person dies. I'm never the person that's like, they're still alive. But like, I feel like, especially,
it's not the way they say they died.
it's never the way, it's never as cut and dry as they like make it seem. And like with like JFK, like he's one of the more popular presidents in American history. He gets murdered in broad daylight, and there's literally only like one film of it. And I get it was a different time back then.
But even still,
there was
what they show, the angles don't work.
and no president was making a public appearance without like multiple cameras and like photographers and all that stuff. And so that one's always like wonky with, and like the one shooter on the grassy knoll, like. But the one that's always intrigued me a lot was Princess Diana. Just all yeah, and today on the day of filming, it's the 25th anniversary of her passing,
which is really coincidental.
It's just like it never. There was just so much stuff that like about it that just seemed weird. So she died on August 31st in 1997 in Paris, France, in Pont de la Mort tunnel.
She wasn't even in England. She was in Paris, France.
No, she was in Paris, France. So she initially that summer I read she was supposed to take her sons to New York for a trip, but got told no. So then Mohammed Al Fayed was what was described as like her host, invited her and her sons on his like super yacht. This thing is gigantic. I forget the exact measurement of it. So she went there with the kids. I don't know if it was then or shortly after that she started dating Dodi Fayed, his son.
She was.
So this is all 97 post.
I thought she was married at the time.
She got divorced.
Okay.
So this is post divorce with Prince Charles. I forgot his name. There's so many just generic white names whenever you talk about like the royal family.
The royal family.
And they're all like, no one has a unique name. So she went back a few weeks later and was with Dodi. And that was like when it became public that they were dating. So then they were staying in the Ritz in Paris, which the father Muhammad owned. Like that's the kind of money that they're like. That was like
expensive.
Yeah. And like people always, and like one of the things that like people always talk about like Diana was like that they like make her out to be like this everyday woman. And they always love to say like, oh,
was
like
she a commoner?
No, not at all. Like
so.
People were like, "Oh, Prince Charles, he married Princess Diana was school teacher's assistant before she married Prince Charles." And it was like, "Yeah, but she was also married into like the upper echelon of like British royalty." So like no, not a she was I read somewhere she was the first like royal bride to have a paying job before her engagement.
Okay.
So so that was an interesting like that she had a paying job. She wasn't just like rich and wealthy for the sake of being like rich and wealthy, not that a teacher's assistant is rich and wealthy. There was actually, like, I never knew before I started really looking into it that there was 4 people in the car. There was the driver, obviously, Diana and Dodi, and then there was a security guard named Trevor Reese Jones. And he survived but needed like immediate facial reconstructive surgery. He was a bodyguard, I believe, that worked under the father.
Was he the only survivor in that accident?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And he had like no memory of the accident,
Mm-hmm.
conveniently.
And we had
But-
to change his face.
Yeah, they had to do like reconstructive surgery on his face, like which is like it almost sucks because you feel like if there were like
Something after that.
if there was something like if this accident was like acted upon from like an outside source, like there's always like innocent people who die, and like obviously all three.
He's
And then
in an immediate witness protection.
yeah, and then like one of the like it was like super weird within a few hours of the accident and Diana being pronounced dead, 7 members of like the paparazzi were arrested and charged with manslaughter.
Jesus Christ.
Because they were chasing him, right?
Because they
But
were
even
chasing them.
Still, like I don't know if that's necessarily enough
Yeah.
to.
And that's apparently why they left the restaurant they were at. Like they felt like other people in the
Threatens.
restaurant weren't actually eating. They were just
There
paparazzi.
to
they
watch,
they were
take
there to like
photos.
watch. She was the most photographed woman in like the world, like by far. So like anywhere she went caused like a hubbub. So 7 members of the paparazzi get arrested, and then less than 2 days later, the French government puts out that it wasn't that it wasn't the paparazzi's fault, that the driver was drunk and had like Prozac in his system, and his blood toxicology was like 3 times the legal limit. The
Fuck.
3 times the French legal limit.
Which is different than here.
Yeah,
Which is a
you
lot.
got to assume they drink a lot in
Yeah.
Europe. You know,
They drink.
Yeah,
and they hop
and
on those
zipping
little
all
vessels
around.
and they're bzz, bzz, bzz.
yeah, and then there's like all the different where it's like again like the JFK thing where like JFK gets assassinated in public in Texas, and there's like one viable film, and it's grainy, and it seems like it's come from like an old crank camera and whatnot.
Not the best angles.
No, but and then the Princess Diana thing, like they recreated her drive from the restaurant they left to where they to the tunnel where they eventually died in, and there was like 10 different locations where there was like CCTV cameras, but none of them were facing the right way.
Oh, how
or some of them were
coincidental,
malfunctioning, and they belonged to
Mhm.
like the small businesses, so they were kind of looking at the doorway and not into the street.
Well, that makes sense, but still.
Yeah, and then
like,
there's a camera at the overpass for the tunnel, and the accident occurred at like at around 12:30, or I believe like around 12:30 is when they left the restaurant in that after midnight time, and the
Late.
camera from the overpass was off because the Paris urban traffic unit closes at 11 p.m. and they don't have an overnight shift. So
accidents don't close at 11 p.m.
so nobody is manning this camera at a very busy tunnel.
Well, from me and Allison know that cameras.
Yeah, well,
record
this is 19. Yeah,
They record.
I
They
said
Yeah, this is
they
not
don't
work
need to be
anymore.
watched.
this is 1997. I don't know all the technologies, but like, yeah. No, I would
they
think
still-
so.
There
Up-
always is a backup.
They had
Yeah.
they had tapes. You had
So,
to switch
and
the
when you
tapes.
think if like
my mom had to switch the tapes to
nobody,
Sports
yeah,
Authority.
like we don't have an overnight shift, we would change the camera tape at like 10:45 if we close at 11. And it's just like it's like one of these things. And then there is also reports of a white Fiat Uno being in the tunnel.
They had Fiats at that point.
Oh yeah.
I thought they were like a newer car.
Oh, it's Europe. They had all the cool stuff before we did.
I wouldn't go with cool, but
Well,
Yeah, they were playing.
So they
Uno.
had so they had a white. There was like a couple reports of like a white Fiat Uno that was in the tunnel, and there was one guy, I forget his name. I believe his last name was Anderson. They pretty much said like, oh, like that's his car. He was in the tunnel.
they identified it.
And then they did a bunch of research and stuff like that, and or like investigative. And his car was like older than what it was, and
It didn't match up
He hadn't been
exactly.
driving it. His wife
Yeah.
said he was home at the time, so they cleared him of any possible wrongdoing.
Connection.
But then, conveniently, in the year 2000, I believe, this man is found dead in his car with like his head decapitated,
what?
and they just declare it they found his body
It was
in
a
the driver's
suicide.
seat and his head in between the two front seats. And they declared it a suicide.
Impressive.
Yeah.
So he behead himself and then picked his head up and put it next to him.
Yeah. So
that's
and they said there was like, and there was, and they, I believe I read somewhere that there was like also like a hole in his head. So like, which you would think a gunshot wound, but they said it was a, it was a fire.
In the head, then.
Yeah.
He just burned a cigarette against his forehead and called it a day.
No, he shot himself in the head, was resurrected as a zombie.
Just popped it off
and then cut his head off.
Passenger seat.
Yeah. I love these theories. Like, don't even make sense. Like, there's no possible way that that's the thing.
They said it was a burnt out car. So they said there was a fire at one point. And then, like, maybe it was like maybe the hole in his head was like a cigarette or something.
But it's
and
not
like
going to chop your head. Fire's not going to chop your head off.
It's not going to lop your head off. But then I found
was the car crashed though?
Yeah, the way you were describing it makes me think that it was just like in the park.
I think it was like in the woods or something like that. Yeah.
No. He was in a parking garage.
So then, like, you keep looking, and there was like there's just this total like off throw. They said there was a 22-year-old cab driver whose name is very hard to pronounce, Levanthon, I believe. It's French. I don't know. I'm butchering that. Had a Fiat, same car. Initial reports was that he was at work that day. Then his coworkers said he left work early that day, so he could have been at the scene.
Gotta love those coworkers.
And then in 2006, his dad said that he woke his brother up in the middle of the night of the crash.
Death, yeah.
And he and his brother spray painted the white Fiat red.
What the fuck?
So like, and it was like one of those things where like that's just, and then he declined interviews. Like that was like it. Like they never got.
What is the reasoning for painting a white car
in the middle of the night? In the middle of the night.
That doesn't even make sense.
Unless
you're hiding your car from something. Why?
Yeah. So that
hiding the blood all over it.
And then it's just and then it was just like oh.
Yeah, it happens to be a nice shade of
it's
like
a really
maroon.
Deep maroon color.
It's a dark blood.
So then
red.
But then there's just like nothing on that guy because like he's never been interviewed past that. He's never they've never just followed up on like because the thought was initially it just said the driver lost control of the car and crashed into one of the center concrete things
randomly.
But because he was drunk and on Prozac.
That okay. Driver.
But then they said then there came out a bunch of people who said like there was an accident with like a white Fiat involved, and then they find a guy who's a cab driver, left his job early, owns a Fiat, in the middle of the night, paints it red.
How coincidental is that?
Yeah, like how there was also a MS6, like a former MS6 agent. His stuff got like he actually got arrested because they said all of his stuff was lies.
The royal family in general is a little sketchy. Like they can make you say whatever they want.
And then because like eventually they did do an investigation into the murder and like but who's got a heavier hand in England than the Queen?
The Queen.
Like I feel like everything could be pointing in the direction of the royal family, and the royal family could just go like, no.
That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, like we wouldn't do. Yeah, like we wouldn't do something like that. Like initially, like MS6 denied that their agents even had like license to kill. But then it came out like, no, they do.
They do.
So there was a former MS6 agent who said that they took down a former, like a president from like another country in a tunnel, like with strobe lights, and possibly like that was what happened. That like when the car entered in, like just a bunch of strobe lights went off
to kind of distract.
And then they said that got disproved. And then the crime scene, the accident scene. It is in a busy tunnel in Paris, France, but it's a car accident scene, and it's involving a billionaire's son and Princess Diana, and the whole scene is cleaned, and the tunnel is reopened within 4 hours of the accident.
There's no way that. No.
I've seen the White Horse Pike in New Jersey be shut down for fender benders for a lot longer than that.
I've seen all the accidents that usually happen
and it's like,
814.
and for there to be an accident involving Mercedes, where 3 of the 4 people
royalty,
die. Yeah,
billionaire,
royalty,
like, no fucking way.
Bodyguards for
Yeah.
and where there's multiple casualties, and within 4 hours the scene is cleaned, and
Well, like there's no time for investigation to study.
none,
Look at
none.
Yeah.
And then there's like they say that opens up the door for like if MS6 like is involved, they can kind of skedaddle on out. Yeah. And another super weird thing was Diana was so initially, reporter for I forget what network got word that the initial reports went out. It was a super serious accident, multiple casualties, Diana seriously injured, and then it comes out she's dead. And then a couple weeks later, a reporter or a news anchor comes out saying that Diana had initially hit her head and had like a concussion and then broke her leg. But like, oh, she's expected to pull through. Like, it's not that serious. And then within hours is dead. Like, they're saying there was like a contusion in the pulmonary vein where these doctors are like, we've never seen anything like this before. Like, it was the worst accident we've ever seen. Which all seems like a little convenient. Yeah. And she was embalmed like almost immediately.
No studying her or anything like that first.
The hospital blamed it. They did surgery on her, apparently couldn't save her, and then put her in a room across from where the surgery was done and said it was a super hot day in Paris that day. And they tried to blast the air conditioning, and they put dry ice in the room to keep the temperature down. But apparently she was already decomposing because of how hot it was. Like, her body was already decomposing, and like rigor mortis was already like setting in. And they didn't want, and her sisters and Prince Charles and the French president were coming to see the body, and they deemed it unacceptable for her to be shown in that way. The hospital deemed this.
Yes.
That was unacceptable for Princess Diana to be shown to her sisters and ex-husband and the president of France in her current dead state. So they embalmed her like almost immediately. And then,
do you think it was just like stupidity and errors, like because they were so nervous that the royal family was coming into their hospital?
Maybe, but then they also, but then they also broke procedure because they also said that like somebody gave a verbal order, but in that hospital, all the paperwork had to be completed before the embalming.
Okay.
And then they got the verbal order, embalmed her, and then everything got filled out afterwards. And then, but the thing that makes tricky is that Dodi's father, Mohammed, the billionaire,
and he was a billionaire.
He was the one who like led the charge on all the like the conspiracy theories, and like mostly thinking like my son was murdered because he was in a car with Diana. Like, so he wanted to get to the bottom of it. And one of the things that he said was he said that the royal family had Diana killed because Dodi was planning on proposing to Diana, and the royal family didn't want the future king of England's stepfather to be an Egyptian Muslim. So he thinks that they had.
You know what? I don't think that's like completely like in left field. Like,
no,
that
it's not totally off
sounds like
base.
it could be an actual possibility.
Yeah, no, yeah, especially with the royal family, like they're like always
tighten it up the ass,
pushing the incest.
Hold on.
Yeah, so the dad is real big. Yes, puppy.
Mom.
The dad was like, the dad was leading the charge on saying that the royal family didn't want the future king's stepfather to be an Egyptian Muslim, and then he came out saying that because Dodi was going to propose, that he was Diana was also pregnant with Dodi's kid. Which I tried to do the math on like when they met and how many times that they had met and like how far along how far along she would have been.
Was she actually pregnant? Like, because she was at the hospital.
They couldn't because they embalmed her. That like all like the tests
were
like null and void.
Do you think that maybe it was like an actual like verbal order from somebody because they were trying to hide all of that?
Maybe, but
I'm sure.
It would have been, first of all, it would have been like super duper early along in the pregnancy, like almost to the point where like early detection. Because she dated a heart surgeon for 2 years post-divorce and then broke up. That relationship ended, and then she started dating Dodie within the month. So
did the heart surgeon work at that hospital?
No. She described him as the love of her life, the heart surgeon, and called him Mr. Wonderful. After she met him, she came up with excuses to the press on why she was visiting this hospital so much. Like she was obsessed with this guy.
Okay.
She said, and like the worst part was like she was super charitable, but she was like, "Oh, I'm visiting sick children in this hospital every day," and really was there to kind of pursue this surgeon, which is like.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine being one of those kids in that hospital and like Princess Diana.
She was there. She never came to see
me. Well, like
me.
imagine if Princess Diana does visit you, but then you're like, oh, she was visiting me as a publicity stunt so she could go get banged out by the heart surgeon down the corridor.
You know what though? Like I would take it. I'd be like, I suck it up for the team.
I was gonna say, what do you?
Not to see me, but she saw me.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like you're being pursued by a
Oh, and they said that,
like...
and I think I watched a video where they said that her first time in that hospital, she was visiting friends, and then there was somebody who needed to get surgery, so the doctor went like running by her, and he didn't notice her.
That Baywatch drug.
Yeah, except in a lab coat. Like he didn't notice her. She kind of like was like taken aback by that, like, hey dude, I'm Princess Diana, like you're gonna run past me. So she got pretty infatuated with that guy, and then that relationship ended. It says in the summer of 1997, and then it said like within the month she started dating Dodie. So like the time for her, like it wouldn't be like she was like 3 months pregnant or something like that. Like unless it was with
like weeks.
Yeah, like
but before she would have even known about it.
Yeah, which is why that claim that the dad has always been like, oh, like she was pregnant with Dodie's kid kind of gets tossed out.
Maybe that's like his conspiracy.
Yeah. And apparently, so the dad is, or the son, Dodie was, it says a film producer. If you Google him, he was a film producer. So the dad's like, he's a billionaire. He's got his hands in everything. He wanted to make a movie about their death, and
regardless of whose perspective it would be through, I would still watch it.
Got shit canned probably because he didn't want to deal with like the legal, with
the royal family.
Yeah,
the royal family coming after him.
But there was like one like super duper like big thing. I think it was in 1995 that Princess Diana wrote like a letter to a former butler where she claimed that they were planning her murder. And he said,
who's they? Who was planning?
She believed it was
the royal family.
The royal family, mostly her ex-husband,
which was Charles.
Charles.
Yeah.
And she said, and the thing that leads the most precedent to it is she said, they're messing with my car. They're going to make it look like an accident, like a head injury or something like that. Because one of, like, in the royal family, if you get divorced, you can't remarry unless your ex-spouse passes away. So she was claiming that Charles was in love with
Diana still.
No, Charles was in love with not even Camilla. This lady, Tiggy, who was their son's former nanny. And she initially said that Tiggy was pregnant with Charles' baby, and then they had to abort it because it was out of wedlock and whatnot. So Diana wrote in her letter, like, they're planning on killing me to clear the way for Charles to marry.
Because he wouldn't have been able to marry
He
either.
could never remarry as long as Diana was
she
alive.
She couldn't
No.
as long as he was alive, but it was
No.
both of them.
Yeah, so neither one of them could get. Yeah,
Oh.
but she got her title dropped.
She was just Diana. When
when they got divorced, they agreed on divorce agreements, and initially the Queen said that she could keep her title as Princess Diana, but Charles insisted that they get rid of it, and her son, the elder son, William. No, William, her oldest.
Oh, her
oldest
son,
son, when he told his mom, "Don't worry, when I'm king, I'll give you your title back."
Aww.
Yeah, it was really nice. And yeah, I know.
Can I have one too?
Hook a brother up. Yeah, you're
I have
a
one.
lord, aren't you? Yeah, you're a lord.
I am.
Oh, that thing.
Tim got it
You
for
bought
me for-
property.
Yeah.
Don't say that thing. I
Got a
have
Yeah,
a
he also
plaque.
bought it for his other friend, never gave it to him, so his friend doesn't even know he's a lord.
There's just a guy walking
No,
around
he
who's a
doesn't
lord and
deserve
doesn't know it.
If
Wow. Yeah,
you
you're
buy
double
land
lorded.
in
I have
like
it.
Scotland or whatever,
Yeah,
you
it's right
become
when
a
you-
lord. So
Right when you walk into my
Everyone- yeah,
apartment,
you
everyone
have to
knows.
know.
I think it's like
Everyone
$50
knows.
to do so. You buy like an acre of land or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm
Listen,
telling
stop
the camera.
degrading my
Yeah.
lordship.
No, this is like, first of all, this is like the longest I've ever talked.
Yeah, it was every Instagram
Absolutely,
ad,
yeah.
10
Like, oh,
not
like
even
you,
10
It was all
5
over
years
TikTok
ago.
and shit.
Yeah, want to get a real thoughtful gift for your friend? Make
Yeah.
him a lord. Yeah.
Make him a lord.
Yeah, it's like this is like the longest I've ever talked without telling people like I'm an owner of an NFL team. Like, but it sounds really cool when you
no.
say it, but
Wow.
like I own one. No,
Like-
I own one
your
seat
fantasy
in
league?
the Green Bay Packers stadium in Lambeau Field. So you become, but they call you an owner. So like for like
Oh.
$230, I became.
So what? We got like an
owner.
hour into the conversation.
Yeah, and I'm just like, you know what? I'll talk about.
Although
these for
how
a
long
little
have
bit.
I
Yeah.
known you? And
Exactly.
I don't think I've ever known that. So.
I was going to say, I've known you. I think
Yeah,
I've
so
known you for
so
5
on
years
this couch
now.
right now is a Lord of Scotland and an NFL owner,
And then me.
all for like the cheap price
Wow.
And
of
then the
like
queen.
yeah.
all the
bitch.
power
Yeah.
that we own.
And yet somehow you got your own seat when there's an NFL owner and a
I
lord
know.
over here.
An
Yeah.
actual lord in your presence. And I have a whole bridge
You have a-
named after me too.
Not
better
you.
watch out.
After
Drop it
your
on you.
grandfather
It's not me.
Wait, what?
My grandfather.
in his hometown.
Yeah. You should. It will.
There's a
if you
bridge
go to
named after your
Paulsboro-
Way to out
grandfather?
yourself.
Wow.
It's like your hometown.
Yeah,
Wow.
whatever.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I am.
South
royal-
Jersey-
South
I am
Jersey
Paulsboro royalty. Yeah.
royalty. Gloucester County royalty.
Good
to be
outlets
exact.
there. Good outlets.
You know what though?
And that's it. They're in.
Yeah, they're in Camden
Yeah.
County, but they're
Camden
the
County.
Gloucester, the Gloucester outlets.
They're just
Yeah.
the Gloucester outlets. Yeah, because I think they're in Gloucester Township.
No,
which is
and
not
it's
in
also
Gloucester
Blackwood.
It's yeah.
County. Yes. Lots of confusion.
None.
So you never know
just,
where you are.
Just totally confused. Yeah.
Going back to like, I would not put it past the queen to do something
No.
that vindictive. Like, no, she straight up
Not
seems
my
like
queen.
She could like end
his
someone's
face, though?
life
Prince.
and just like
Not my
pay
queen.
someone. There's Prince
Charles?
Harry.
Philip's the
Philip,
yeah,
was
the
that
lizard,
Versailles?
yeah, the
That's it.
lizard king.
Wait, she
He's
had
definitely a
Charles and
vampire.
Philip then, right? No,
No,
Philip's
Philip's her husband.
Incest.
So she
Yeah.
had
No,
Charles.
not my
You're from
queen.
America.
Not my.
Who's your queen? Beyonce?
No.
Oh,
No, the Queen of England.
yeah, no,
Your grandma's from England, right? Yeah.
yeah. So that
Yeah.
that was, but that's just always like the one, like
Oh, they don't like that. They don't.
Yeah,
no
no,
one
like, who
actually from
cares?
there.
And
I
that-
would
that-
love to see the letter.
and that was the big thing about Princess Diana was like everyone started to care. Like the royal family, no one gave like a rat's ass about, and
Right.
then like they just got infatuated with Diana because she gave them like the
Attention.
she gave them the sense of realism. Like she was very outspoken.
Grounded them.
She
Well,
yeah, she was
his-
very
she was like a
outspoken about
celebrity.
like she was depressed and like all that stuff, and like she would actually talk about like not everyone seeing eye to eye in the royal family, and like they actually told her like, hey, what happens in Buckingham Palace like stays in Buckingham Palace.
And she was
But
not
she
about
was
that.
like very outspoken and would like give interviews. And there was also one of like, and her marriage with oh my god, Charles was doomed from the start. There was a video and I saw it, and it's
They seem completely different.
they weren't compatible at all. He was dating her older sister the first time they met.
Okay.
But there was a video where it must have been like right after they got engaged, and it was brutal to watch. Like the interviewer asked them both, like, "Are you guys in love?" And she answers back immediately and says, "Of course." And he goes, "Whatever in love means." Like that was his answer on like national TV, like future king and queen of England, and he's just like, yeah, whatever the hell that means. And apparently it ruined her. Like, so they were
First of all, it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Second of all, he's basically saying no, he's doing it because it's kind of like his duty as a prince to marry somebody and take over.
Yeah, they met. I think the number is they met like 13 times before they got engaged.
What?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, there's no like, yeah. Oh,
My parents were together like 3 months before they got engaged, and they saw each
that's
other like
even
almost
absurd.
every day.
Even absurd, yeah.
But that's the difference.
Yeah, they
Yes,
started
but that
dating.
doesn't. I mean, like the way
and-
it's portrayed, it's not an arranged marriage, but
Yeah.
But that's how all marriages
it used to be that way.
happen
Yeah.
back in the day with royalty. They're like, oh, let's strengthen our home, our two families. I will marry your daughter, and you will marry the next person that happens to be 12 years old. Like, it's just like that's what you did, and it's still a tradition.
Yeah.
Probably not anymore.
Yeah, because now they're marrying
at least not in
American women,
England.
Meghan Markle.
First of all,
I know,
though,
and then they're excommunicating
she is
them
the
to
best thing
California.
that happens to that family. Like she is so like herself.
Yeah,
And
well,
I love that.
I don't think that Meghan Markle is able to do what she does now if Princess Diana doesn't exist.
She's not accepted in that family.
No. That's why they're
that's why they're
left.
back in
Yeah.
America on their own, like not associated with the
Yeah.
royal family. However, I think Kate's a fucking sellout. Sorry.
No,
but-
absolutely. Yeah,
Like
no,
she
no,
just
absolutely.
like she started like I think she started as like
Well,
she started
yeah.
as a,
she's British.
well
like-
the thing is I think she started as a stripper, didn't she?
No, but she was a
No,
common.
I don't think so.
She had something like that.
They met in
swear to
college.
God,
I don't think she was a stripper.
I don't think she was a stripper.
They met in
Wow,
college.
shut up
She's
right
very
now.
pretty, but
I
yeah,
think
you're
it might
starting
be
conspiracy that Kate
conspiracy.
Winslet
I
is a
swear
stripper.
to God, I heard she was a stripper.
No.
No, I don't think so. No, they met in college.
Yeah.
And that's
But yeah, no, like Princess Diana was like just like so not like about that. She actually she shook the hand. She was like she was very real. Like she shook the hand of
Common.
somebody with like AIDS, which is back when they thought that like people could get AIDS through touch. If you look up like all the things, she learned sign language so she could be like a patron for a deaf school. Like she was just she really like she was cool.
Down to earth.
Yeah, but she also
wasn't, like, stuck up
but
like
like she also
everybody
wasn't
else.
like an angel. Like people are always like, "Oh my God, she was an angel," but like she had affairs, rumored.
Oh, if I was a part of the royal family, people would be
Exactly.
getting killed left.
Yeah,
and right.
but like so but and then so like the
Like, you
big one
crossed me,
with
you're dead.
Charles was Camilla, obviously with the affair with her, and then when they get
Mhm.
divorced, she asked
It's her cousin.
her cousin was a stripper.
Her cousin was a stripper. Meet Kate's.
I was like, yeah, I don't think she was.
The title of this one is Meet Kate's stripper cousin.
Hell yeah. You know what? I think they need more of that in the royal family, to be honest with you. They imagine
Shake it up.
their that's Kate. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, she's got the Union Jack.
on
She's
her
got more
side, yeah,
British
so-
attire than Kate does.
I don't know. In case we can't do this, you
Yeah.
get this.
I would 100% be
Would
part of the
you?
royal family.
That Kate they said that you're still over there just showing stripper pictures.
I mean, that's not.
No, that's not that bad. Like is she
She
a stripper?
looks like me when I go out drinking for the night.
Yeah, like is she a stripper or yeah,
A commoner.
common folk.
Straight up.
But like imagine that, like
And she probably is also standing on tables punching
Hell
people in
yeah.
the face.
yeah, I don't think, Diana described living in Buckingham Palace as like extremely lonely.
I
And
feel like it would be
yeah.
a prison.
Yeah,
I'm
she
sure
talked
it
and she
is.
talked
Yeah.
about that. Like she talked about it being like lonely. Like she quit her job, so like she was just like confined to that.
She didn't have any outside
Yeah.
companionship.
and then when they got divorced, she was just doing like a press junket where she talked about how depressed she was and, you know, what really goes on behind the scenes of the royal family. And, you know, so the royal family would gain something from her not being around if they just, like, you know.
Do you think if she kind of stayed a little more quiet, she
well,
wouldn't have been
she's
killed?
still.
Well,
I mean, Diana said in her letter that, like, you know, Charles wants to get remarried and he can't remarry as long as I'm here. And then he did, and then he went and,
I mean,
and then
like-
he went and
I
married
think-
Camilla, who was like his girlfriend beforehand, who he cheated on Diana with, and then his girlfriend. Right? It was.
Yeah, but I mean, like the queen could have, she can do whatever she wants. She could change it. But I'm just saying, like, if she was a little more quiet, do you think they would have just changed
Yeah,
it without anyone
maybe.
noticing and just
Maybe.
Well,
but
where
then,
was
but
that
then it was
letter
like
would have married
found?
Camilla.
The one that said, if I die, it's going to look like an accident, but...
she sent it to a former butler, and and that's another problem.
So it was found through emails?
No, it was a physical letter. He held on to it for like 6 years and like never came forward with it. Like he didn't come.
I mean, I
Yeah,
wouldn't
like
either.
he
He'd
didn't
be
come
next.
forward with
But
it, and then she
after she died, he came
yeah,
forward with it.
like 6 years after.
Instead of, like, beforehand to prevent it.
hmm And then
Oh.
he blacked out. She named who she thought it was going to be. So like everyone's just kind of assuming it's like, oh, it's the royal. But like in the letter, she says a name, but he blacked it out because like he didn't.
He
want,
was worried himself, and I
Yeah.
understand
He
it.
absolutely was. And then, you know, then there's just like a bunch of other like weird stuff that happens with like the royal family, like where there was a bodyguard for the royal family who was like specifically tasked with watching Diana, and she described it.
After the divorce.
No, pre-divorce in like
Okay,
1980.
make sure she was
sorry,
staying
in like
on.
in like 1984, like just a bodyguard, and she described him as like the greatest friend you can ever have, like blah 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 blah, and was like very. And then she also said like, you know, someone in that field was like the love of her life, and she would leave it all behind for him. So they deemed that her relationship with this bodyguard was inappropriate, and then he gets fired from. Diana described it as getting chucked out of the job. And then in 1987, he dies. How? Car crash. So, like, you know, yeah, there's just
And then the one guy who had the white
the white Fiat. Yeah, imagine if he was there
gets
too.
beheaded.
Well, that was that's a good. That was the different guy. Like there's just like so much, you know, and it's like how much weird stuff can happen involving. And I get it. Everything that happens regarding like the royal family or like
Secretive.
it was like not even secret. It gets a little more attention. Like
Yeah.
it could be,
But
it could
that's
be
a lot of coincidences to
exactly.
pop on top of another.
How many coincidences could it be that they're driving through a very busy tunnel and
No cameras
no
can witness
cameras are working?
anything.
like
But yet they all but one die, right? All
all but
four
one,
in the
and then-
car, all
yeah,
but one die. And he had to get facial reconstruction.
Yep.
Diana was embalmed right away.
immediately the scene cleaned up, like everything was like it's just, and
So
then
the
also,
bodyguard was the one.
a car. I just pictured a car crash and literally right.
yeah,
behind
just
the street
immediately
sweeper.
just a bulldozer just pushing it like
swoop.
right,
Yeah.
and then there was also
Nothing to see.
I forget what the term is. Let's just say an investigation. If somebody dies in another country, but their bodies are brought back to England for burial, there needs to be an English investigation into the deaths. There was
So
only
like, it always happens in like two parts, like the country's investigation and then England's investigation. to
only
make
if you're
sure.
an English citizen and you die out of country and then you
Okay.
come back in. There was only ever a French
And
investigation.
she died in France.
and
yeah.
you're sitting there thinking like, I mean, you would think that Princess Diana would get an investigation, and like she just didn't. So
There's definitely-
But the French and the English don't always have such a amicable relationship, so
Yeah,
it's
but, like,
There's
the French
definitely
gonna
more
get?
to the story that you just don't know, and maybe not
Yeah,
will
and
ever know.
and that's what they're saying.
I'm
like,
gonna call
because
up Mark
it sounds like a
Cohn.
lot of things were
Like,
hidden.
yeah, and like the one big one is just like the immediate cleaning of the crime scene.
Yeah.
Immediate, like
Or like the almost instant embalming
yeah,
too.
yeah, and then for the hospital to say it was a really hot day, like
It was a
I
verbal
get it.
order.
I get it. It's 25 years ago, but like you don't have. First of all, you don't have an air conditioning unit that can keep a room at a certain temperature, especially when there's a
what time
dead
of
body
year
in
was
there.
this?
August, end of August,
Okay,
August
so
31st.
Wait, this was France. Is France similar to England? Because like they don't have air conditioning in England because they don't get as
Yeah, I
hot
guess
as.
so.
But
we do
even
typically.
still, at that point, it's the
Oh
end
yeah,
of
I see those
It's the
videos
end
all
of
the time.
August.
They don't have central air.
Yeah, they don't have central air. They don't have window.
But it's got to be.
because
But
it
you're
doesn't get
thinking it's a
hot.
hospital. There's got to be some room where you can put a dead body where it's
and
not going to
It's
decompose.
the end of
immediately.
August. You're close to September. Get into
Most
fall.
hos-
It's going to
most
be a little
hospitals-
cooler than it is in like
Most hospitals have morgues in them.
Correct. Yeah.
not most, like
You
all
don't need
of
to
them.
leave a
Yeah,
dead
they do.
body
Yeah.
in
and
a
like
room.
I get.
I'm sure most
Yeah.
of them.
And
Maybe
it's
they were
like-
all
going
of them
Grey's
do.
Anatomy style. They were trying to keep it like hot and humid so they can go fuck in the next room.
Yeah.
They kept putting it.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Like it's fine.
I just and like the one thing I don't get is like I get it. It's Princess Diana. She's easily identifiable, but like if I, a layperson, die, well, not even right in the dumpster. They're gonna call my They're gonna
They need to
They're
identify.
they're gonna
down
call
the
my
first.
garbage
family
chute.
and they're gonna come show and like I could get stabbed through the midsection and my intestines fall out.
They still
And my
can't show the
mom
face.
will have to show up to the hospital, and I'd be like, "Yep, that's my son. Thank you for showing me that." But it was unacceptable for Diana's family to
How
see.
bad
like,
of a car accident was that?
They
I
were
mean,
going.
I
They were
know it
going
was a
70
bad
miles an
car
hour,
accident.
and then they
'Cause,
said
I
none
mean,
of them
if
were
the
wearing.
one was
Yeah,
doing a facial reconstruction, but how badly can you look? They can make you look pretty good after a car accident.
yeah,
How badly can you end up being where they can't even show your family your face?
yeah.
At the very least, show like an arm, show like a leg or something like that. Like there has to be something. There has to be something that was not
Joe.
Yeah.
completely.
You have to identify these ankles.
Like, I don't know. I feel like I've got pretty like my scar on my hand and everything. I feel like I've got pretty identifiable.
well, they wouldn't go. They would say like
Yeah, they would do
your
like
teeth
yeah,
or
but
something.
that's my
like,
thing. And then the fact
you're
they have to embalm her.
Yeah, the embalming of her right away is like
That's the part that
Yeah,
freaks
like
me
that's
out
like the
because it's like-
super.
If the conspiracy is true that she was actually pregnant, you won't know anymore.
Never. Yeah, all that tests come back like all wonky,
Mhm.
and then yeah, and it's just you know,
Mhm.
and like who, you know, who you know the royal family wants you gone. Like you're gone,
You're gone.
And
There
they
is
can make
no
it-
way.
and they can make it look like an accident.
Well, I think that's also another thing. Like, I would be so worried to marry into that family because if that's how easy it was to get rid of somebody they didn't like,
Who was the most
What,
photographed
like,
woman in the world?
how
Yeah.
do I know that they're not going to like me? Like, they might try to get rid of me that easily.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think they're killing people anymore though.
I think they would.
They're not. If they haven't killed
Yeah.
Megan's
That's
family
true.
with all the
That's
interviews they've been
true.
doing,
Oh,
it's not even
isn't
Megan
the
causing
dad?
the
The
stir.
dad's like a
It's-
loose cannon.
It's
Yeah.
the dad and like the sister. Like if they're not killing people, I don't think. they're
No,
killing
well,
people
the
anymore if
queen's
they're not
so
killing them.
old.
I mean, it might be a slow death. They
She's
might
too tired. She
the
can't-
queen's not.
she
The
can't-
queen's not even returning
commit murder anymore.
to England to be there when they appoint the new prime minister for the first time
So wait,
in her
who's going to be the queen?
1,000-year reign.
Is Kate?
It's going to
But
be
I
the
mean, like,
king.
It's going to be William. It's
No,
the
like-
king.
No, it's gonna be.
No,
Charles.
it'll be your son.
Oh, I forgot about him.
Yeah,
We were literally just
and then
talking-
he's going to die instantly.
But
Well,
he's
no, I
gonna
think-
die
I
soon
think
enough
it's- well,
too.
I
He's
think-
old as fuck.
I think it's going to go to him. He's going to abdicate, and it's
Will.
going to go
William.
to what's his
because
face?
Harry.
Yeah,
Harry's now out of the running.
he's too old.
Yes,
Yeah, because
he was never in the running though. He would not have been king anyway.
Dude, imagine.
He
but
was
like,
too far down the
how-
line.
You want to talk?
What's his face has too many. He has too
Yeah,
many
do
kids
you wanna
now.
talk
He's too far
about,
down the
like-
line.
Slap in the face. Have your brother be king because he was born first.
No.
Oh.
First of all, that would be
I mean, that's how it works.
Like that would be the sickest situation to get born into. You are the second born of like
Mhm.
the event. Like you're second in line to be the king, where you're like You're only 3 years younger than your brother. There's no way you'll ever be king. But like it's like being a backup quarterback on like a football
close,
team.
but
You
yes,
get all,
so
but you get
far.
all the perks of being in the royal family
Yeah.
without having to do like really anything.
Yeah, but what is his title
'cause then-
officially?
And then he has kids.
You're
What was
further
his
like
down
title
the
the
line.
be?
duke of you're the duke of something.
See, Duke sounds like distant
They're the-
cousin.
They're the what's this? The main one is the Duke of Wales, and then Harry is they're both the Duke and
Yeah.
Duchess of Sussex.
Sussex or Essex? Sussex.
Sussex.
There's too
But
many
what's
Sussex.
Sussex? Is that like a county
Who
or like a
cares?
state
Who
type
cares?
of equivalent?
It's I believe it
Region,
is a
okay.
region.
I would want to be the Duke of Wales. I hear that. Yeah, I
I'd
hear
be
they
the
have
Duke
good
of
That's the
golfers
first
there.
Dolphins.
No, it's not Wales, the animal.
I
Well,
know,
that's
I know.
what the firstborn or whatever is always
The king.
is always Wales because that's what Princess Diana is. She was
So there's an
Princess of
actual
Wales.
order to it. Oh,
Yes, and then the second one is the
okay.
is Sussex. There is an
So
I don't know
the
if it
third
goes on
becomes,
any
like,
further,
he
but-
was,
Duke of
yeah, he was
something
Charles.
else.
He was Charles, Prince of
Okay.
Wales.
Yeah, there'll be
So
something
it's just
else.
like it's an actual
Mhm.
title then.
I wonder if Canada. Do they ever? Are they ever the
Yeah, it's a
Duke or
title.
Duchess of anything in Canada? Because Canada still has the Queen.
Providence. Wait, they don't have kings and
They're-
queens. They have prime ministers.
They're technically
Yeah.
still part of the
That's
Commonwealth.
the same thing.
Yeah, they still say God
Yeah.
save the Queen.
And can't.
They're a part of the Commonwealth still. They are independent and they govern themselves independently, but they are still
The more you
technically
know.
a part of the
Yeah, I
Commonwealth.
was gonna say.
The more you know. God save the Queen.
I think Australia is too.
Well,
right?
that was a prison.
They're a prison. That's why they're all.
I
crazy
feel like
down
we're gonna
there.
like go to bed tonight and just not wake up tomorrow.
Yeah,
Maybe
no,
not tomorrow, but like the day this it releases, like the
Yeah. They can take me.
Yeah,
I'll join
Dan's
them.
wouldn't
fine. He
take
just
you. They would
Dan,
just make you.
Dan was just a puff piece for
I'm
the
ready.
royal family right now. I'd join the
I'm
royal
ready.
family. I think the only way I would
I'm
join
ready.
is like I said, like if I was like if you were
See, I'm
if you were my
person.
older brother and I was the younger brother and they were like Dan is the future king of England and I'd be like what'd that make me? Be like well unless Dan dies I'd be like hope he doesn't. Like I don't want any of that.
I don't think I could do that. Like, I'm a social person, so like, yeah, I mean, I need to go to the bar every Friday. I need to like go out and do stuff. Like, I don't think I could just like.
Oh, I do it too. I'll have
You're
a ball.
Yeah,
fine.
you would
though.
just you would just
You
have you would
definitely
just have them.
everybody.
Dan would be like, I would sure love to go to the bar. I'll just take the bar to me.
I was like, I know. I'll be like, I need you to go.
Yeah, but then you're not
Kidnap
gonna have a
Anthony.
job, so it's not like you can go out every Friday to vent about your job. You're just drinking every night. No podcast
Could you
for
imagine?
you.
Could you imagine being in the royal family?
Oh, we'd be having
complaining about that
feasts.
stuff though. Mother,
Oh, Allison, we'd be having
Yeah.
feasts.
They don't
left
even,
and
like, do-
right.
they don't
I'd
even
be like 500.
It would be a
pounds.
good time.
they don't even do anything though, do they?
Well, there
Yeah.
you could go to the Royal Fitness.
Royal
Center.
Fitness
Oh, I go to Royal Fitness now.
in Barrington.
Yep.
That's- I drive by it all the time, and I'm like, oh, I should check
thought
that out.
about
And I
it,
drive
but I
right
was
by it. Okay, well, it'll also look like a barn, and then and then you can all because Anthony's
Royal
coming, he'll be
bartender.
there.
You know,
Royal
that's always my
bartender.
dream job. That I am a bartender, not like the royal bartender. You ever watch like any like the Bachelor, Bachelorette?
No.
I
So,
watched
you know-
it.
you know the
a
one
long
like
time ago. I
Bachelor
don't
in
keep,
Paradise?
I don't keep up.
Where it's on the
They
beach.
have
Yeah.
somebody go there.
It's the bartender, and he just married the daughter from Modern Family.
Hot
Oh.
one or the nerdy
Which one?
one?
The hot one, I think. The older one. Alex was the younger one.
Alex was the younger one.
The older
so
one.
what's her name?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Well, they just
I don't remember any of the
So the bartender on Bachelor in Paradise married the hot girl.
because I believe he was a
from-
former contestant on The Bachelor, maybe or maybe
Okay,
not. But
okay.
like, it was always my dream job
Oh.
because like he literally goes there. They only get to drink like 1 or 2 drinks a day, so he's just on this island and he has to. He's like their faux therapist. Like
They can just vent
a
to
couple,
him.
a couple like get into a
Well,
fight.
that's how you are with us.
Yeah, a
We
couple
go
will get into a fight,
over-
and then they just sit at the bar, and then he's like, "What's up, Allie?" And she's drinking like some Mai Tai or like some watered down
Let me
like
tell you about
rum,
my
rum- yeah.
day.
And then everyone's like, "You're just the best listener."
He
Yeah.
looked at the other girl.
She came onto the show with absolutely no notion of who was dating.
Wait till
and asked him on a
Halloween
date.
this year. You're gonna be like, no, I'm
know.
not anybody's therapist. Get the fuck out.
My favorite thing though about the only really thing I like about like the Bachelor shows is when they introduce the people and the careers that they have
What kind of
listed.
careers do they have listed?
Absurd.
It's the most off the wall description of a career. It's almost just like when you watch like
That's my
House
favorite
Hunters,
meme of
where
all
it's
time.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, I have 18 lizards and I'm a stay-at-home teacher.
Yeah.
My budget is 1.5.
He's a
million.
Crayola color specialist, and she's a butterfly catcher. Budget $750,000.
$1,000.
Yeah, it
I love it,
is.
and it's
It is
true.
really true. Yeah, he's a data analyst, and I am a social influencer. It's
So
like,
that's believable.
that's actually-
I
they
wish
would
I
make
had
money.
that type of like.
yeah, and I do.
I'm sorry, I just got a
what's
notification from my
go-
TV Time
dude.
app. Available on
is?
Amazon and iOS.
I
Archer
love
is
that
starting
show.
in 1 hour.
Is it like a Robin
It
Hood
came
style
back.
show?
No,
Okay.
Yep.
Oh,
It's a cartoon.
I suck.
I said no right away. Dan lied to you.
You laughed.
Well, because it was
I don't
because
watch that
how
nerd shit.
how fast he said yeah.
That is Dan for you though. Like
It's whatever you want. I'm not describing it to you.
you guys have
He's
no
actually a
idea.
secret agent.
So ironically enough,
He actually is a.
He works for a
ironically,
secret
he works for a
agency,
secret
but it's called
agency.
That
and
sounds bad.
Yeah,
I think it was named before the
Well,
bad.
it was named
They
before.
made a joke
and
that
even
they were
made
the
a
good
joke
ISIS
about
now.
It. They had
Yeah.
to like change the name.
Yeah, it's H. John Benjamin, Bob's Burgers. He's the
I
main
don't know.
character.
I don't watch that shit.
Yeah,
It
It's just been
poisons
on
the
forever.
mind.
Wow.
kind of needs to end.
No, I'm just kidding. I just don't want. I just get stupid as fuck.
Bob's Burger poisons.
Bob's Burgers. They came out with a movie for that.
Bob's Burgers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I heard it was good. I didn't watch it yet.
Yep.
though.
Speaking of, that's another conspiracy we have to cover. No,
Bob's Burger. Oh.
You don't
No,
know
I
the
don't know that
Simpsons
one.
one? Ooh,
What,
maybe
how they
that'll be my
predict the
next
future?
one.
I
I
was
never
never allowed
watched
to
it
watch
either,
it.
but there's a conspiracy that that the writer of the show predicts the future.
Yeah. He's
It's
been
true.
right about some stuff.
Yeah. Well, we won't talk about too much of that now because like
No.
that'll be a future episode. But
Matt
Yeah.
Roby? Yeah.
He's been right about a lot
like
of stuff.
literally scene by scene.
Sometimes with that stuff though, because The Simpsons is so popular,
they might
it makes you think that like maybe The Simpsons did something and they would be like, you know,
well,
let's
let me
do
copy
that.
this
Yeah, like
scene.
let's do that.
Yeah.
Marge is Marge is
Absolutely.
behind everything.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Every conspiracy, every presidency.
Marge Simpson, she's the best. Yeah, no. So
I know. I hear him
Tim's
talking
having
about
a great
nerd
time in the
shit.
other room.
Do you hear his like puppet voices?
is he the mage tonight?
He talks. I don't know. He talks in different voices.
He's playing. Whatever his character is. Yeah.
I just don't know how it works.
Well, I'm gonna go
Oh,
in and
boy.
scare him when we're done
I
recording.
wish I
so
could like take a camera. And, like, try to...
For the love of God, don't touch those cameras.
Not these cameras. This camera.
Yeah, when you're done
well, when we're done
recording.
recording.
Well, if you're wondering what that's gonna look like, it'll be on YouTube in 2 weeks from this point. No, 4 weeks. No, me
Ours.
videotaping that. You scaring him. 2 weeks.
Oh yeah,
2 weeks.
it'll be in 2 weeks because our new
Yeah.
episode just came out
Our
tonight.
first video episode. This is our second, so it's probably still shitty. We're getting better. I promise.
It's a learning curve.
Yes,
Well,
I feel
here's the problem.
it is.
And I
you
said
learning
this
how
to you
be-
earlier. I was like, I don't know. Do I look here? Do I look at you? Now, do I look at you?
No,
like, there's multiple.
Yeah.
The dog's over there. Do I stare at the dog the whole time?
He's so
Yeah, I
cute. He's
feel like
cold,
the
too.
the
He's a little ball.
looking when you just like
Stare into your
down the
soul.
hard camera. You're like, whoa, like I it almost makes me uncomfortable if I watch it. Like if you watch like
me
another
too.
podcast or something, and like even if they like catch eyes with the camera at a certain point.
I mean, I feel like there's a time
Yeah.
and a place to look into the camera.
Yeah.
A podcast is not that. If you're like a YouTuber
Yeah.
because you're only talking to
Yeah.
the camera because you're supposed to be talking
Yeah,
to
if
your
you're doing
audience,
like if you're doing like an
that's
essay style YouTube video, you can obviously just look
Yeah.
down the barrel of the camera or like news and all that. But like I feel like podcasts, you're supposed to kind of be Like, that's not even there.
talking, having conversation.
Yeah, that's not even there.
Yeah.
We're not even. What do you mean?
Like,
What do you mean
wow.
podcast?
Breaking
What do you mean
news.
podcast doing this for money and stuff? It's not even. Those cameras aren't
There's
even there.
no money being had here.
Yeah,
Oh.
no. I'm just
There's
saying.
LOL.
zero money being had. Not at this point.
Nada.
My goal is to just make like even like $100 off of this.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Slightly.
Anthony, you'll get our invoice.
For being
What?
a guest.
We charge you.
Not well. Listen,
Unless you
Yes.
promote our drink and call it Conspiracy Happy Hour at the bar.
I'll absolutely put that on the menu, but you can.
I'll make you
Can I write
stickers.
it on the
Yeah,
board?
but yeah,
I'll race that. You have.
Come
shrimp and
grab a
tacos.
conspiracy
you guys,
happy hour.
you guys need to say nice things about me at my funeral when the British family says you've said too much.
Oh,
And I still can't
Oh,
believe,
well.
like, that still is the weirdest thing in the world to me that I've never, ever talked about Princess Diana in public. And the moment I tell another customer at the bar yesterday that, oh, I'm going on Dan's podcast to talk about Princess Diana, he shows me a picture of his brother with the king and with the queen and the prince.
Who
And
you said like design the
he
architecture?
he
of the
designs
castle or something?
he does the landscaping and the
The
architecture.
more like this is the
built it.
weirdest thing
Yeah.
ever. Like you could have literally
Could have been
been
anyone.
talking to anybody.
Yep, could have been
I
anyone.
was talking to a customer yesterday at the bar.
Yeah, thought it was so funny that I was just telling this British guy, I'm like, oh, I'm going on this podcast to talk about why I think Princess Diana was murdered. And he was like, hey, you know who that is? That's my brother with the queen. And I was like, what? Like, couldn't have been the worst dude to tell that to.
Mm-hmm. And another fun coincidence is my mom and Princess Diana share a birthday.
Really? I feel like I knew that, but I forgot.
And her funeral her funeral took place like 2 days before
really?
my birthday.
Did it really?
Well, if she died today,
When I googled it, it said
Well,
the
you
6th.
weren't born in 1997, were you? Oh,
No, I mean
yeah,
the
he's
day.
like
Day.
5. Wait, no, 97. You'd be 23.
I was 6.
your
Seven.
math
1996?
off.
1997.
25. I'm really bad at math.
I was
Not you
I
now.
was 7 years old.
I'm saying if you were born 2 days after she died, you'd be
Oh,
20.
yeah.
Oh,
No.
yeah.
God, you make me feel so stupid
No.
over here.
I celebrated a birthday.
Yeah, see,
a
that's
birthday
more like it. Oh,
2 days
birthday.
after she was buried. Just one
the
of
day,
them.
the
The
day
seventh
of
one,
my
to be precise.
birth.
Not me.
So that's what I'm doing the Game of Thrones books right now, and they keep calling them name days,
Mhm.
and it's
Wait, I joined a book club.
yuck.
I'm gonna
It
start
was
doing
actually
that.
really fun because we just meet up and talk about the book for like 5 minutes, and,
And
then
then-
we're at a brewery, so we
Oh,
just
yeah.
bullshit the rest of the time.
Nice. What book did you read?
Well, the one right now is called.
Wait,
Pretty
are you
much.
done your
I mean, we're
conspiracy?
not talking about it. Anymore.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I just
pretty
wanted to
much
make
done.
sure.
Oh, are you?
I
Are
wanna
you
be a good
putting
host
your
for our
timestamp now?
guests.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No.
I just
I'm
wanted to
done.
make sure
Yeah.
it was
No.
done before
Princess
we
Diana
moved on to
was
something
murdered.
Yeah,
else.
it's called Sundown Motel.
The end. See, look, numerology. 908.
That's
Doing
your
that.
birthday. Okay.
I know.
Play
It's what I'm
those
saying.
lottery
I can look at
tickets.
my phone
Wait,
randomly.
we should go. Are you working on Friday?
No, I'm at Las Bronze on Friday.
Can we go to Las Bronzes on Friday and then go to 814 for your birthday celebration ish?
Oh, it is your birthday. Yeah.
It's the weekend before.
Heard that on
My
heard that
birthday's
on,
not-
Weekend
on the
before.
last
My
podcast.
Yeah.
My birthday's not
When's your
this weekend,
birthday?
but we
Don't-
can.
Tell me.
We
'Cause
just
you
said
said
it.
the funeral?
What time is it?
The 6th. 9:08.
There you go.
Ah, suck it.
That's what time it is. What's my
September
birthday?
8th. What if I was like September 15th?
I swear to God, I thought it was like the 10th for the longest time, but I think it's because that's the date we had your surprise party.
I never actually
No,
celebrate my birthday
the
on my
week.
birthday.
It's
'cause
never
like always a
convenient.
weekday.
Never
that was-
convenient.
It's never convenient.
Oh, except like when you're like growing up, or even like you always want your
Yeah.
birthday to be like a Friday or Saturday because those are like the cool days of the week.
Yeah.
Haven't had a Friday or Saturday birthday in I guess like 5 or 6 years. This past year, my birthday is on a Friday. Yeah, on a Friday. Spend it in New. I spent it in New York with my mom and her friend, seeing Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Yeah, it was
That's a
cool.
good day.
Is that a musical or?
It was a play.
No, you
It
didn't
was
like
a
it.
play, but like it was like
Actually, I recently
No,
just
it's
learned
not.
that it's not a musical.
no songs at all.
Oh, I thought it was
No-
a musical
no.
this whole
No,
time.
it's a play.
And that kind
it's
of makes me not
so
want to see it. Yeah.
Picture Hocus Pocus song. I cast the spell.
no,
And
None of that.
now
Absolutely
Hocus
you're-
Pocus
none
without
of
the
that.
music.
I could go into a whole big rant about that play. because
We'll save it for the next
have me on and
podcast.
be like, everything wrong with J.K. Rowling. Be like,
Speaking of,
yeah.
if you're not working on the 30th, which is a Friday night,
I will be. But
well,
are
if
you
you want to
doing?
take off,
Are you doing?
a Hocus Pocus 2 party. We're gonna have the projector in the backyard.
Oh my god!
I know.
You're sick.
That's
You have a
true.
cold coming on in 30 days.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
So we're gonna do like
Tell La Esperanza or bring us tacos.
Yeah, what if I just show up with a bunch of food afterwards?
done.
I could do
Time
that.
you get done.
We close at 10.
Yeah, but by the time we
It's
watch,
actually not that bad.
Yeah,
it'll already start at that point.
Yeah.
Like take off like at 9.
No,
Okay.
I'm an integral part to the operation there.
Okay.
He is an
Dan, can we
integral part
arrive
to
at
any
Las
type of bar
Esperanzas at
in
like 8 o'clock
on the White Horse Pike.
on Friday? This
Sure,
Friday.
I don't.
This Friday.
Oh, this Friday.
And then we go from
Sure.
there to 814.
How old are you going to be this year? Yikes!
32.
We should. Do
Six
you guys have like a
months.
birthday song? Like, do you come out clapping, clapping, clapping? It's your
Oh, first of all,
birthday.
it's so uncomfortable because
I'm going to be
no,
sick.
no, no. If you sit at the bar, we
I'm
don't
coming-
do anything for your birthday. We'll like give you a shot or something and
Okay.
like give you a piece of cake.
I've actually never.
yeah.
I've
Yeah,
only
you
eaten
ate
outside.
you ate
'cause it was
outside.
only during
But the
COVID.
uncomfortable thing when you go to La Esperanza is one, the birthday song doesn't translate to Spanish directly. Yeah, Feliz cumpleaños a ti. Da, 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 da. But like, it's so funny because every woman who works there, their English is their second language. So like,
Oh.
just this white ass family will be like, "It's Dan's birthday," and then they come out with a what's that? With a sombrero.
Taco with
They come out with
Sombrero.
they come out with a sombrero and a piece of cake and a candle, and they just like stumble their way through a broken English version of Happy Birthday. And I'm always just like, if I ever
Like, you can
if I
say it in
ever
Spanish,
go
it's
out
fine.
and get like, and it's always like 3 of them. You know, like when you go to Applebee's and the whole wait
Happy
staff
birthday
comes out.
from Applebee's
Like,
to you.
as embarrassing as that is, like at
And
least
it's your
there's
birthday,
like
and then
8
everybody
of
gets
them
you.
And
out
it's like
there.
2 or 3.
Like at,
Yeah.
at Esperanza, it's just
It's
like
whoever's not busy.
3 women who barely speak English who are stumbling through like the English version of Happy Birthday. And I'm,
That's nice. I appreciate
but it's
it.
always like, if I go somewhere, like, please, like, and if I go somewhere for my birthday, like, especially my mom is the worst with it, where she'll be like, "It's his birthday," and I'm like, I swear to God, woman, if these people come over with a piece of cake with a candle in it and start singing, I'm gonna kill you.
We should go out for birthday too. Maybe the next weekend. But like Hell at the Moon or something.
Yeah, the next
And then
next
take off that
weekend.
I love Howl at the Moon.
Me too. Me either.
Me too.
The last
I
time I
haven't
was
been in a
there
while.
was the only time I was there. And I was with you. And we requested what Redneck Woman.
Oh yeah, Red Man Woman.
That's probably the last
Yeah.
time I was
Your
there too, to
friend
be
was working
honest.
that night too. So I think we should go there.
Mhm.
I love. Do they still do the board? Where like
Yeah.
if you tip,
Mhm.
like, so there's
You can knock people off
Yeah.
the board by
Oh.
paying
Oh,
them
Wait,
money.
whoever tips the most gets on the board.
yeah. I went there once and like
Conspiracy happy hour.
first time I went there, I
And
just
it's
like
a-
immediately raised the stakes. Yeah,
Well,
it's
no,
song
it-
request.
it's song request.
I immediately
I thought
just
you meant
raised
like
the
you
stakes.
get your
I
name up on the board. Big
No.
tipper.
No.
No.
I gave the guy $50
It's song
like,
request.
right off the jump for, I think, a Taylor Swift album had just come out at the time. So I like put that. So they
Mhm.
like played it. So like people were coming in like looking at the board like at like 10 o'clock, like thinking they were going to be able to throw like a 10 and get a tip in there. And they were just like, "Wow."
Yeah.
So they were like, "Well, you got to beat our man Anthony in order to get your
That's
song
the
played."
person,
And I was
too.
like, "Wee, wee, wee, wee."
You have your
We need to
your
bring
Yeah.
him with
bucket
us.
your
28 straws
coming
for
out
the
of
one.
it. And
Yeah,
you're like, this is for
sure.
sharing.
Whatever you say.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I drink one to myself too. I have
Yeah,
all the
we'll
straws.
Just
schedule this
compile
ahead of
them.
time. That way Anthony has time to take off. And
I'll have to see if, and I'll ask Mary if
Got
she's
it.
performed.
She's one of the performers.
yeah.
Oh,
Her and
that's
her
so
husband
sick.
performed there. Yeah.
Wow.
I worked with her.
And then she performed at our wedding, apparently.
Whose wedding?
Her own.
What?
Yeah.
I always wonder that, like,
She did.
if like a famous.
It was honestly not. It
He
was
sent
not,
me videos. I was like,
it was not a part of it. Like everyone that was at the
Oh.
wedding.
Like
said,
he was
"You
sending
two
me
need to
videos. I
perform."
was like,
Like
Oh, wow.
you should have needed a +1. I would have been your +1.
Yeah.
I know, that's what I said. You should have had one.
Like, what happens like at like Adele's wedding?
She has Beyonce come and sing.
If she's not
has
singing, I want my money back.
And also,
I'll take my gift back.
Okay, so like, let's be like, you're Adele. You're not going to get another singer to perform at your wedding. So like, you get a DJ. Do you explicitly have to tell that DJ like, hey,
no Adele songs,
no me songs? Like, Mama's here for a good time tonight.
Yeah,
like,
but do you tell your DJ who you are?
Oh,
or do you use an alias until?
First of all, yeah, absolutely. You tell your DJ who you are.
Oh my God, I'll do it for free.
Yeah. What?
Oh my God, no.
I never understood the thought process of giving rich and famous people something for free.
No.
I don't. I get maybe promotion and like stuff, but like,
I was gonna
hey,
say it's
Dan,
promotion usually.
You're rich and famous.
Poor.
You play for.
I am. I'm a
Absolutely.
really popular host of Conspiracy Happy Hour.
Here, your dinner's on me tonight, pal. Then you just go like, thanks, and then leave. Now I'm out Dan's dinner bill. Like, it's got to be something like, hey, if you're going to come to this restaurant, we'll let you eat and drink for free, but you got to post about like, you got to post like how great of a time it is. Like, there was a former Eagles player who came in to the restaurant one time, and I charged him for everything he drank, and someone was like, I can't believe you just gave him a $150 bill. And I was like, I can, because he drank about $120 worth of stuff, and then he bought 2 shots for the couples next to him. So, yeah, no, I can believe I gave him a $150 bill. And they're like,
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they're like, do you know?
Sorry, the person who makes over $1 million a year?
Oh,
I absolutely can.
He played for the Eagles for 8 years. And I'm like, yeah, do you know what his signing bonus was? His signing bonus was like $30 million. So you're damn right I charged him. Like, he didn't even note. If I go out, I have a $150 tab. I'm going to pay it. It's going to hurt, but I'm going to pay it. But, like, that guy wipes his ass with $150.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
Very
let's
true.
sign off because we can continue this conversation upstairs, but, like, we don't.
So do I.
I
I am
really
sitting in
have
an
to.
ice
So-
box. Yeah.
As you can see,
Me too. I'm just like
everybody
literally
I'm
like,
sure
bottle
has to pee. So we're going to say goodbye, and we will catch you next time. Make sure, if you are not yet subscribed, which at this point you're listening, but you're also, I hope, watching, check out our video on Conspiracy Happy Hour, YouTube page, whatever.
YouTube.
Search it. I don't know. You're just looking into your
YouTube page, whatever it is.
Check out our
YouTube.com/Conspiracy Happy Hour.
Time at our last Conspiracy Happy Hour.
We
We would love for more people to be a part of it. So check out that. We also have a book club coming up. I think next month is when we're doing the Conspiracy Book Club. So
So keep a
we'll be
lookout on
posting-
our social
we'll be
media
posting the
once we
next book
post
that
the
we're
book.
reading and stuff. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this episode.
I had a
We
good
hope
time.
our guests
Yeah.
enjoyed this
I had a
episode.
good time.
I know,
Rambling.
we're
Oh,
only-
I'll come back. I was just rambling.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to. I feel like every time we do this, we have to make our drinks a little stronger. The last time was good. This is a little like.
Mine went down a little too easy
I
because
know.
it didn't have enough.
I added
alcohol.
extra. I added extra.
It was
Oh,
not a
mudslide
mudslide.
are dangerous, especially frozen.
especially when I make them.
Yeah, frozen. Yeah, you can hide. You
Our-
can hide an absurd
yeah.
amount of alcohol in a frozen drink.
Well, no, ours was a surprise. It was either
Yeah, you
all
should
you
have
were
said
saying
you
that,
take
yeah.
ice cream and then take. Oh fuck.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my
Oh,
god,
wow,
this
just
mixed so well,
tastes
it
like
doesn't taste
Breyers.
anything. And then you move the straw. You're like, I was like, this is what it's like to drill for oil. I found the
But,
vodka.
thank you guys for joining, and we will talk to you next time. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I don't know how to sign off the video yet.
Bye bye. Au revoir,
Bye.
Shoshana.
Thank you for listening to Conspiracy Happy Hour. Be sure to listen, follow, and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts. Have a spooky story, conspiracy, or weird encounter that you would like to hear read in a future episode? Email your story to conspiracyhappyhour@gmail.com and follow the show on Instagram and Facebook at Conspiracy Happy Hour. This podcast is produced and edited by Geckos Media and is part of the Geckos Media Network. Interested in starting your own podcast and not quite sure where to begin? Visit Geckos Media and sign up for a free one-on-one consultation today. Until next time, bye!